Sosa and Malachi arguably being the best doubles team in the world. Potentially. I think Sosa Malachi beating Dackables at Low Tier City 5.
Oh, yeah?
Which was the best doubles team in the world at the time. Earning their spot, and honestly, Sosa just one of the best doubles players out there.
I honestly have not watched him in doubles, so now I'm excited to watch this. You're pumping him up a lot over
Well,
there.
it's Sosa. Sosa and Malachi are incredibly consistent in their play. They know exactly what they need to do, just through sheer fundamentals. But it's that perfect balance of analyzing the game and then intuition, as you were saying.
Dude, is it just me, or does Malachi look like Keitaro and the cat had a baby?
Keitaro and the cat.
Look at that. He looks like he's slim and buff and ready to rock, and dude's hit the gym at least 3 times this week.
It's funny because from what I've heard is that Malachi actually doesn't work out at all.
Oh, you mother lover.
From what I heard and what Justin has told me, Malachi says the hardest workout he's ever done in his life is raise that controller.
Damn.
Yeah, I think that's
heavy
just
ass controller.
That's.
You think he does 3 sets of 12 bench presses with that thing?
Hell yes, exactly.
Every single bit of that controller is made of lead.
But still one of the most fundamental sheiks in the world, representing the Northeast through the 4 crews that he's on.
I see that.
Yeah, exactly.
His name is like a mishmash of things that I know one of those.
And it's nice to see them come out, just representation of the scene, being homies. I think because Project M is so much more tight-knit, it helps a stronger development of tournaments like this here in Texas. And we're going to start it off on Smashville.
The hey, do you want to go to this stage of Brawl?
I don't disagree with this at all. I think this is an incredibly solid stage for all 3, especially with the region bias that we see from the Northeast. The very comfortable stage for those who play in Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey.
Dude, that was a hell of a recovery by Arsenals to get out of that nasty situation that Sosa had him in. While all that time, Lunchbox was over there dealing with Malachi, trying to get to a point where he could help out.
Yeah,
I'm trying to watch everybody's movements because whoa, let's go Arsenals. I'm trying to learn from this because these are all the top players that are at this event. There's no question that at least 3 of the 4 on this. Oh, did he get there? No, not quite. At least 3 of the 4 that are on the TV right now are in the top 4 of this event. One of them is arguable in the top 4 or 5 because Arsenals is an amazing player. But let's be real here, Lunchables, Malachi, and Sosa are pretty much the top talent that we've got. And that's probably going to be the top 3, potentially with Teals or Arsenals coming out of the gates, you know?
I think Arsenals is definitely a slept-on player, rising through the ranks, and definitely more solid in his doubles play compared to singles. I think with how it's laid out, Lunchables and Arsenals definitely complement each other a lot more, especially with how close they live with each other. Being able to train very consistently, but it's the patient play and the survivability with pretty volatile characters such as Marth and Fox being able to be gimped at very low percents.
Yeah, those low percent KOs are pretty real against these 2 characters, especially with Wario and Sheik. That's most of their stocks, man. This is how this. Oh, go away, Malachi. Sorry, that was a little bias coming out there. I like Lunchables a lot as a person. He's very nice. He's always willing to help out. Even whenever I just message him out of the blue, haven't said hi in forever, I'm just like, hey, can you help me with this? And he's just there. Yeah. He's a cool guy overall. Plus, he's nice to my son. No bias at all. Good tech from Sosa. That was a hell of a recovery.
And just staying as survivable as possible. Still Sosa holding on to a stock at a solid 157%. Yeah, and it's going to just be whoever can make use of their stocks the most. Even though Lunchables has been staying pretty survivable as Toon Link when playing in previous sets.
Oh, that was spicy.
Great punish coming out.
That evened things up a bit because Lunchables lost a pretty early stock twice now, given the way that things were going for him. Arsenals is doing a hell of a job. Oh, almost gets the spike.
Yeah, and trying to clutch that out as much as possible, going for short hop, double fair, very consistent pressure, and no further punish from the landing. Sosa playing very scared with the air dodge on top, but now with Waft,
Do you blame him for playing careful?
Yeah,
neutral
I mean, I don't blame him at all. I think this is exactly what needs to be done, but with the further lead, great use of the forward smash to contest.
You sound like you're running out of steam over there.
Yeah, it's just, it's hard to watch because there are a lot of situations in which Malachi could have died, but Arsenal's missing up the up smash in that possibility. And though Lunchables losing a stock very early, actually being able to clutch it out and being the main engine as to why this doubles team won the first game.
That was very well played. I mean, okay, I'm going to remove the bias for a minute there. Both teams played the hell out of that game. Like you said, Sosa was playing extra careful with his last stock. Lunchables just managed to clutch out towards the end and not lose stocks is what ended up getting everything. Even though he ultimately share stocked with his partner, Arsenal's was also playing quite carefully. And something not to sound arrogant or anything like that, but I'm pretty good at doubles, okay? And something that I learned as I was going along whenever I was playing in Brawl and things like that is that it's almost always better to live in doubles than it is to get a kill.
Exactly.
And that sounds kind of like the most obvious thing in the world. Like, of course it's more important to, like, sustain your stock, right? You need to live, not die. That's what you want to do with the whole game.
Yes.
But that's not what you intuitively do in doubles. Intuitively in doubles, you see your partner getting bebopped over there, and you want to run in and do something. But it's not always the best thing to do. A lot of times, it's better to give them space to just get beat up for a minute or two so that you don't add to the mix and get yourself in a bad position, too. Speaking of bad positions, Arsenal's is able to... Whoa! Sosa, very well done on that edge guard. However, Lunchables there to mix things up and get Arsenal's out of that bad situation that he got right back into from Malachi.
And that's definitely something you have to be aware of, especially with this PewFat team comp, which is Marth Fox.
Yeah.
Marth always has to be there to help out Fox, and same goes for the vice versa, practically. I think it's going to be incredibly difficult with the punish games of both Malachi and Sosa staying ever so consistent. But like you said, it's going to be more off of being very resourceful and outlasting your opponents rather than, as you said, bopping each other.
I don't remember who said that once. I was like, hey, that's a funny way to put that. Sosa, are you going to use your walk? No, he does not. He opts to instead just kind of let things go. Elsa style. Good from Lunchables to recognize that situation was going to end up really bad for Arsenal's. And Sosa, wow, he got a tipper out of that. Doubles is so chaotic, dude. It's hard to keep up with everything when it comes to commentary. It's hard to keep up being there.
Yes.
Yeah, you're dead, dude. Okay. Or Sosa cannot be good for like 2 seconds there.
And it's going to be really hard because a lot of the times Lunchables was caught in the corner with Malachi's pressure being at that lower percentage of using crouch cancel.
Wow, that was excellent mix-up from Malachi, excuse me.
And catching that double jump, Sosa on the top platform, but Arsenal's once, like we were saying, staying ever so resourceful. Now in the 2v1 situation, going against Malachi on the ledge, using the invincibility, but not getting any further punish. Sosa back in the game, and going to be a minor mistake just to go and combat with the back air.
So we got a pretty even game right now. So, whoa, I'm going to shut up. A commentator curse every time I've said that. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
So I'm just not. That forward smash, oh no, not a second one. Lunchables wisely recovering low to get up under it. Now he's trying to get Arsenal's out from in between the two players. Manages to get Sosa up into the air. Malachi now trading places with Sosa. Forward smash tipper going to seal that stock. Malachi getting hit by what looked like a back air. I couldn't quite see what that was.
And it's great making sure to give each other their space as Lunchables staying ever so consistent, proving his ground, holding center stage, or just making sure that they stay on that ledge, while Arsenal's, because of its tri-platform, being able to jump from platform to platform, changing pace from aggressive to passive.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
you
right
it's
there.
Fine.
I saw the tipper hit Sosa, and I was like, oh, we got to get on that.
Yeah, and it's just being able to force that 1v1, making sure to push each other off. Both characters are incredibly good at keeping that support playstyle from one another, holding ground and making sure that a player like Lunchables being able to handle almost everyone. I feel like Lunchables even doing the most percent during that match.
Could be. I didn't see what the percentages were. Arsenal's was doing a fantastic job of getting around Sosa's his edge guards. Towards the end, I believe that Sosa may have flubbed. Like, I think there was a technical flub because he went up instead of down whenever Arsenal's was down low. And I think he may have meant to drop neutral air or neutral air past the ledge to trade with Fox's up B. And I think that was a key point in the matchup right there. Because had he gotten that stock, Arsenal's would have been out, and it would have been Lunchables down.
That's the hard part, though, is that he tried to gimp him at a low percent. I do agree with this Peach pick, by the way.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because
was not working out.
They're being forced into a more scramble situation. It's easier to keep pressure, especially with one of the characters, or one of the only characters that has the ability to have plus on shield in this game, which is with low cancel aerials.
Yes.
Also with projectile games with turnips, very resourceful, and probably one of the best edge guards game, being able to close out Fox and Marth stocks.
This is bad for Green Team. No. Lunchables going down. That should be the end of Arsenal's stock right there.
Yeah.
Oh, almost saves him. That would have been beautiful.
And it's great because Malachi was having a very rough time in the edge guard game with Sheik.
There it is.
Definitely a more solid pick because Sosa was getting the edge guards, but because at low percent, it's harder to get Marth and Fox because it's a never-changing rinse and repeat cycle. You're always going to be a ledge hop nerd, so it's never going to send him away and get that immediate kill, which is going to. That's why Peach was picked, is to help with the edge guard game.
I agree that overall Peach is the better pick. She's more tanky. She's got, quite frankly, from what I can tell in this team, a better set of synergy with Wario, and will ultimately be, like, it felt like both of the teams were just hyper-aggressive teams at the beginning, and now we've got an aggressive and a passive character. That should be, like, now look at the stocks. This whole situation is just bad for Green Team, and it's because Malachi is not in the midst of everything. He's given Sosa the room that he needs, and Sosa is able to generate openings to get stocks like he did against Arsenal just a minute ago. So now we've got 6 stocks to 3 instead of a close match like we had before. This may be the momentum that they needed to swing the whole thing. Plus the stage itself, while this is traditionally a good Marth stage, I don't think that it's going to work out very well for Lunchables at the end of everything because of the size of everything and the ability of both Wario and Peach to just wall everybody out. Look at this. This is a beating.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I wanted to point out, is that Final Destination is a very big footsie stage, but because of the volatility of this, it allows Wario and Peach to abuse the top blast zone. Things like that, making sure that you can make basically faux positioning to the point where they have to invest. At this point, Sosa and Malachi could play passive throughout the rest of the game and then allow Lunchables and Arsenals just to have to commit, have to force in and abuse that last stock.
I think that's it, yeah. Again, sorry, I meant that. I didn't mean to speak
you're
over you
perfectly fine.
It's because of the chaos in doubles. It really is. It's hard to capture everything, especially when you're in the middle of performing an analysis like you did. Very well done, by the way.
Thank you.
And the chaos of all of it, I'm going to stop using that word because it's like the 5th time I've said chaos. Chaos, chaos, chaos.
I mean, I think that's one of the best words to describe, even on a larger stage like Final Destination, but that's one of the keys to the teams that we're seeing for the success of Sosa and Malachi is the larger stages. It's less volatility, allows for a lot more survivability, if you will, for characters like Peach and Wario, who are definitely more floaty.
Okay, so I wasn't super confident in this until I saw that Lunchables had switched over to Toon Link. And Toon Link Peach is an awkward as hell matchup for Peach, okay? I think it's perfectly doable. I don't think it's a bad matchup. I just think it's odd. That was a hell of an edge guard from Sosa to seal off Lunchables' first stock. I think Lunchables may be a little bit rusty with Toon Link because it doesn't quite have the speed that he normally has with the character.
Yeah, it's one of the big reasons is just pulling off from that aggressive playstyle like we saw from the past like year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Where he is trying to play less committal. He wants to play incredibly dodgy, especially with a point Fox. So if they try to pressure the Fox, he can always be there.
Right. Ooh. Oh, that was a hell of a combo because Wario's nowhere near about to die from the up air. So it was, oh no. Oh, did you? Lunchables, you are a monster.
Yeah, and it's the AGT up,
Yes.
or bomb up throw into neutral drift up B. So being able just to recover from the factor.
I would have just jumped an upbeat right there and just lost. Like, real talk here. I was the bad player right there, where Lunchables is clearly the national level threat because he was able to recover from the whole thing. They're doing much better this game, but the red team still has a pretty substantial, like, clear lead right now. Especially if they get another stock off of Arsenals, this could be pretty bad because Fox at low percents against Wario and Peach, that's gnarly bad for Fox.
And the best position that you have is being able to pick your battles, making sure that you have the exact same spacing for characters like Toon Link and Fox, especially on a larger tri-platform stage like this.
Oh, no. So we've got a pretty even game all of a sudden. I think this is going to work out for Green Team at the end of everything because they've slowed the pace down. The first few games, like you said, were just, oh no, that's exactly what you don't want as a Fox. Oh, good recovery, though. That's going to be the stock.
Yeah, and it's being able to close the position into that 2v1. It's closing off Lunchables so he's not there to help.
Right. Not there to boost the recovery to catch him as he's falling. So this is kind of turning back and forth between the two teams. Lunchables throws the boomerang that way. Still manages to hit. Like I said, the Toon Link Peach thing is kind of an awkward matchup for Peach. And it's because of the movement that Toon Link has. Man, this is brutal for... I really think that this counter pick ultimately serves to counter Arsenals. When I say the counter pick, the change from Sheik to Peach, okay? And I say that because Peach has a far better time dealing with quite frankly, Fox's bullshit in this game.
Yeah.
And it's because of the functional differences in Fox. He doesn't have he has the NTSC recovery. Good tech! Oh, that was amazing! Arsenals, that was so good, dude. They removed the frame of invincibility from Shine, and he has the NTSC up B. I believe there are a couple of other things. I know that his jump squad is a frame longer in this game than it was in Melee.
He also has more end lag on his up B, so he's not able to immediately respond off of recovery.
Got it.
Ooh, but being able to catch out that up B, it's still going to be hard on the 2v1 situation with 119%.
Yeah, that's it.
Going the platform tech chase.
Do you think maybe Roy's going to come out for Game 5, or do you think he's going to stick to it?
Sadly, because Roy is more of a pocket, I think they're going to go for this more chip-oriented style that we're seeing. I think it's how they choose, once again, to pick their battles on larger platforms. I wouldn't be surprised if they went back to Delfino's. I think it's very risky to go to Yoshi's, and I think it's incredibly risky to go to Green Hill, which is exactly where Malachi and Sosa want them to go. So it's Delfino's or Dreamland.
Oh, we're going right back. I'm a little shaky in my confidence on this. That was an interesting start off. I think that if Lunchables is able to engage on, specifically on Sosa in this situation right here. Okay, there we go. Arsenals manages to get out. That is such a bad, like, seriously, I'm not even playing in my butt puckers every single time Arsenals gets off of the stage and Sosa's there. Because Sosa's edge guards are pretty immaculate in general. And on top of that, let's be real here, it's pretty easy for Wario to edge guard the spacies. And that's not I'm not jawning or anything. That's just how the character works. It's because of the function of the character. His neutral area is amazing in the spacey matchups. And so that's not going to seal it. The size of the stage is going to play pretty importantly into more Sosa and Malachi's favor. That was a good up air from Malachi. Ooh, he had a shine right there. I guess he could have teched the shine. An aerial shine's different in PM than it is in Melee. My bad.
Yeah. It's scaling off of percent.
Got it.
And it becomes really hard because
that was so clutch.
Right now, it seems that Sosa and Malachi are staying ever so consistent in their play, that the ground game is, they're playing as if the floor is lava. Because every time Arsenals and Toon Link or Lunchables hit the ground, it's just been Punish City from Sosa and Malachi, being able to catch their landings, abusing the fact, and they're playing platforms a lot more just because of the fact that they have to. Toon Link is very non-committal in their neutrals, being able to chip away on shields, and Arsenals has to stay so slippery just so he's not immediately caught and punished like we're about to see right now, trying to get off stage. Lunchables with the immediate rebuttal, but building up 1% with the down smash.
The problem that I see is that Green Team is not able to generate any kind of opening. They don't have the power that they need to get in there and do anything about what's going on. That was really well done, but you see right there, Malachi was immediately able to get in, and he was with such a percent so that he could counteract anything and everything that Arsenals came in to do. Forward air separating the Green Team, once again, Red Team with a hell of a lead, and it's only going to get even larger. Lunchables down to the last thread that he's got in the winner's bracket of doubles. Good recovery, manages to get to the ledge. That neutral air out of shield from Malachi may be Sosa stock, and it was. That down throw, not going to get anything off of it.
Yeah, and that DI away is very tricky and exactly the right response.
No, maybe not. Okay.
Oh, and it's going to be very difficult for Arsenals and Lunchables just to respond and come back from this game, because this chip method and passive play definitely not working.
No, I don't think so at all.
Yeah.
Good up smash. That's going to make it so that instead of a 5 stock, it may be a 4, but I like Arsenals a lot. He's a good person. He's an excellent player. I don't have a lot of faith in his ability to beat these two in a 2v1.
And it's just,
that's it.
It's incredibly difficult with the sharking pressure that we've seen from Peach and Wario, especially when they're opting to play the platforms like we're seeing from Lunchables and Arsenals.
Let's take a moment.